in Auburn, Alabama, 7-0. We have had two great games earlier today. Iowa upsets Michigan, winning by 1. And then in our second game of this triple header, as the clock ran out, Alabama winning over Tennessee to upset the number 3 ranked team in the nation. Pushed out of bounds at the 31-yard line.
Number 12, Corey Barlow.
Casey Weldon, he's a junior from Tallahassee. And one of the things that Bobby Bowden told us on Thursday as we visited with him on Thursday morning is that Casey continues to push as far as pressure on that on the starter, Brad Johnson.
Well, it's a lovely situation for a coach. I don't know if it's such a great deal for Brad Johnson, but you can feel when a guy's pushing you. You see it in practice. You can see the coach's eyes. I mean, they like what he's doing. It's a very tough situation, you know, and Brad gets off to a tough start, and he makes the change.
Breaks it across the 25, and he's down to the 23. That's more than enough for the Seminole first down. Last year, he rushed for over 100 against Auburn.
Nice job here by Howard Haynes, Reggie Dixon, and Bobby Blake, the center, left guard, and left tackle. But watch Amp Lee, how he runs low and his eyes are moving. He says he's got great peripheral vision. He sees the field, keeps his knees moving. Nothing real flashy about Amp Lee, just a lot of positive yards.
5 carries for him for 27 yards as the boos go up because of the Seminole chant. I'll tell you, earlier today, I know this is Auburn, but when Alabama defeated Tennessee, knocking them into giving them a loss, you should have heard the roar that went up here. All of a sudden, they were for the Crimson Tide. Weldon fires it long into the end zone, and it is incomplete. Almost intercepted by Ramsey, but he was out of the back of the end zone.
This was very, very nice defense by Auburn. They patterned red. They were in a zone. They had somebody that right there where he wanted to throw it short. So now I'll tell you right now what Casey's going to tell the coach. Coach, I was throwing this out of bounds. No problem. I knew I had it just far enough to get it out of bounds where either my guy gets it or nobody gets it. You got to have all those answers, Ron. As you go to the sideline, if you can stay in this league and play a long time, you got to have a lot of answers and excuses. You just can't be a good thrower. You got to have good answers.
You got to give Baker credit. If he doesn't fight for the football, that would have been an interception in back. Flags go down, and you can see the movement. Again, it's Reggie Dixon. As Reggie came out of his stance just a half count before the ball was snapped. Campbell, tell you something that happened on the play. Just the Seminole war chant had just ended, and the Auburn band started to play. And quite frankly, Bobby might say something about that because the band's not supposed to be playing when they come to the line of scrimmage.
If I was Bobby, I wouldn't complain about anybody's band. If my band plays for home plate.
Rolling the pocket, throws it complete at the 20-yard line, and still on his feet is Dawsey all the way down to the 18-yard line. Walter Tate finally finishes it.
Little sprint out action by Casey Weldon here. Comes out of the pocket and throws very nicely on the run. But it's Lawrence Dawsey that makes the play. Watch him run down. He stretches, turns inside, but watch him come back and make the play right on the sideline. Beautiful throw. And now this is what Dawsey can get you. Extra yards. He keeps running. He just doesn't go down like one of those little spindly wide receivers. He wants to make yards. The last of the Fab Four wide receivers. And he came
160
back.
yards against Miami last week, or 2 weeks ago. Going to run. Breaks off a tackle, and he will have the first down at the 10-yard line.
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Yep. Make a little fist action right there. I'm here. I'm ready to play. And what Casey Weldon also gives him, Ron, is he's 4'6", 40. Brad does not run like him. Little play action pass. Nobody's there. He knows he needs about 6 yards, and he takes it up. No time for sliding now. That's in the pros. He's got to turn and run. Stiff arm, climb, dive, get up, shake. Yeah.
John Wiley, number 9, is the man who finished him. They're going to run the reverse with Baker. Stretches it out. He's playing into Auburn's hands and still picks up 4.
Well, Shannon Baker, it looked like it was wide open for a second, but Corey Barlow, I tell you, he's a little embarrassed about the whole deal because he ran right back to him from behind here now. Nice little action, good fake. The line sells it up front, and here he comes. Look at all that green grass. Problem is, here's Corey Barlow. Come on, Corey, turn him in.
Cunningham finished him off.
A little bit of a stiff arm. He pushes him by with his hand. Whoa, that's embarrassing. Never like that. If you're a DB, you're talking. You want to hit people. You don't want to fall down.
And Florida State has called the timeout. Casey Weldon wants to go over and talk with Bobby Bowden on the far side. So let's go down to the sideline and hear from Kevin Kiley. Kev.
All right, Ron, just in case you're wondering about the Florida State support in 85,000-seat stadium for Auburn, here, his Mrs. Ann Bowden, Bobby's wife. Ann, how many family members did you bring to this game?
Gee, listen, I don't know. They come out of the woodwork for these games.
I understand there's 75 members of Bobby Bowden's family in the stands. Bobby's from Mobile, Alabama, so he's right at home.
Well, we're from Birmingham, actually, but I think we've got people here. We're not sure whether they're our relatives or not.
All right. All right, back to you, Ron.
Thanks, Kev. You know, Bobby told us on Thursday, he said there are a lot of teams that the alumni want us to beat. One is Florida, the other is Miami. Not necessarily in that order because they want to win the state championship, but he said this one here is as big or bigger to me because I don't want to have to listen to my relatives the rest of the year. Drive started back at the 42. They have consumed just over 3 minutes and covered 53 yards. Second and goal. Weldon wants Bennett, finds nobody. Roberts is the intended receiver. He wanted Bennett in the corner of the end zone.
Nice job by Casey again. Threw it out of there. Let's have a chance at least at third down play. A little bit of a mix-up on the pattern, though. Roberts and Reggie Johnson, both tight ends, were in the same area. Had one of them cleared out a little bit, he might have had somebody to throw the ball to.
So the situation, 7-0 ball game as Casey Weldon 2 of 4, 29 yards. Auburn leads 7-0, and the Seminoles with the third and goal, 5.5 yards away. Quick pass incomplete as it hit Dawsey in the hands, and he got bumped and he couldn't hold on.
This is the same play, Ron, that they scored against Miami with. They're going to bring Dawsey underneath it, a la Jerry Rice from the San Francisco 49ers, and I have to hit him here, but look at all the traffic on this throw. He hit him all right, but there was a lot of people there, very crowded.
Richie Andrews, 6 of 7 in field goal attempts this year. And from 22 yards, he nails it. So Florida State on the scoreboard with 12:02 left until halftime.
Sony unleashes V, a brilliant new videotape that draws more color and music out of everything it touches. New Sony V.
Whether I'm racing 200 miles an hour or driving 55, I don't accept compromises. You shouldn't either. Cars should be responsive yet fuel efficient, roomy yet sleek, not to mention affordable.
Well, surprisingly, one car does all that and more. The new Cutlass Supreme.
And in the coming months, we'll show you that when you take a look at any new Cutlass Supreme, you'll see.
Here's one car that does it all and does it right.
New generation of
Better get your Air Jordan Flight Club calendar from Wheaties.
From the box, Jocks. Just get it.
that nobody knows. No matter what you do, no matter where you go, you've got to have an ace in the hole.
Bud Light proudly presents George Strait.
ESPN's College Football Saturday, Florida State versus Auburn, is brought to you by Oldsmobile. Stop by your Oldsmobile dealer and see what's new from the new generation of Olds. And by Bud Light. Everything else is just alike. Ron Franklin, Gary Danielson, and Kevin Kiley. And it's wonderful to have you along on this Saturday night, the third Saturday in October. And as I mentioned, not only the two great games that we had earlier today, the upsets continued as Miami was bumped by Notre Dame today.
Well, Miami now is going to drop out of the national picture, and up steps Notre Dame again. You know, there's no doubt about that. Here they are. You think they're getting rid of them. They still have a tough schedule, but now at least they can control it themselves.
Richie Andrews, the senior from Fort Lauderdale, kicks it away. Pedro Cherry collides with Casey. Cherry winds up with it. Breaks by one tackler, and he'll bring it out to the 23-yard line. Keith Jones defensively. So the storyline of this one so far is we have 11:55 remaining until intermission time. Turnovers, Florida State 2 and Auburn with 1. Auburn with a 90-yard touchdown drive. Jones 6 tackles, 5 of those solo. Penalty yards, it's been big against the Seminoles. 42 yards, and now Auburn with a total of 37. And the early going in the last 3 times they have played has been the demise of the Auburn Tigers. They've dug a big hole and couldn't climb back out.
The last 3 losses, they turned the ball over in the first half. You're right.
Suzuki pushing him back for no gain as the ball is loose, and you can see the official pointing to the turf, which means ball is dead here, but it's going to be a loss of 1.
Well, Ostazuski just laid one on him right there. The nose guard ran around and just put it on him. I think just as much a storyline, though, Ron, is that Florida State survived that early stage fright that they had against Miami. I got to believe Bobby Bowden is absolutely thrilled to be in this game. They're down 7-3, but he has to feel he's in the lead because he's in the game.
That's a good point, and we had mentioned that they had lost a little poise early, fumbling the ball and then getting a needless personal foul call. Rolls the pocket, almost intercepted at the 38-yard line. John Weiss almost came up with it, the senior from Thomasville, Georgia.
There was the case again. Stan just believes in his arm. He throws the ball. He just thinks he can get the ball in those little spots. I like that, though, on a quarterback. I mean, you've got to live with a couple mistakes. Otherwise, this guy's not going to win it for you at the end of the game, and he did it against Tennessee.
Leading the Southeastern Conference in total offense, 225 yards per game. And Gary, let me ask you a question. The underneath coverage is trying to play some tricks with him, aren't they?
Well, I think that's the way you stop a good passer. Stan has to be a little more patient.
Pressure right up the middle as they set screen. Joseph across the 26 to the 27, and it is not going to be nearly enough for the first down as Errol McCorvey defensively makes the play for the Seminoles.
Again, a situation where they weren't going to trust Stan with the ball. A little screen pass, the chances of picking up 10, 12 yards on 3rd and 12. You know the other team's playing zone is not very good. They just wanted to punt the ball.
4th punt for Nell tonight. The 30 to the 33-34. Alex Thomas defensively on the special teams is there to make the stop. Mark Rick,
quarterback coach for Florida State, back up to Jim Kelly at Miami back in the days, and he's in charge of now it's Casey Weldon, but helping both of them over there, and good place to coach quarterbacks because you get to throw the ball a lot of fun. I think he might even have got word there that he was on TV. Did you see him smile for us right there? Hey, you're on TV there. Smile a little bit, Mark.
Now let's talk about the sequence of what they talk about as far as the relays.
Right. Bobby Bowden calls the plays, but he's hooked up to Mark Ritt and Brad Scott, the offensive line coach, and they do it a little bit and help Bobby call it, keep him apprised of down and distance tendencies.
Weldon with a handoff to Lee. finds a little seam to the left side. And Amp will take it up close to the 39-yard line.
It's hard to knock Brad Johnson the season he's having. He's completing 67% of his passes, a respectable almost 7.5 yards per attempt. But Casey Weldon is adding a little bit something to this offense with his ability to scramble and look downfield. He spreads them out just a little bit.
By Weldon under all kind of pressure, but gets by it, drills it complete to Baker, caught inside the 35-yard line. There is a flag back at the 38-yard line, and it's a 21-yard gain, and now Florida State players are jubilant on the field.
Offside, defense, decline, first down.
Haynes is matched up here against David Rocker, the All-American from Auburn. Watch him move his feet, keep his butt in. But watch Casey Weldon move up in the pocket. And he isn't just satisfied now with dumping it off to one of these guys. He fires it, rockets it downfield. And look at that throw, right on the outside shoulder. Boy, that's nice. That's making something happen as a quarterback. You're real happy. You feel great now.
3 of 6, 50 yards for Weldon. That was Eric Ramsey, who gambled and went for the interception. Lee to the 24-yard line. Ramsey comes from that left cornerback spot to make the tackle, and all of a sudden, because of the mobility of Casey Weldon and the passing game improving, the running game all of a sudden has come alive.
One of the things Bobby Bowden said he was going to keep an eye on is plays that went for more than 4 yards when he runs the ball. Look at this. 9 out of 11 running plays have gone for more than 4 yards. That's bad news for the Auburn defense.
Short drop this time, Baker on the quick post, and he is inside the 15 to the 13. First down, Seminoles.
A lot of the alumni for Florida State was kind of questioning Bobby Bowden. Why are you playing the two quarterbacks in some of these early games? And he said he wanted to have both of them ready just for a game like this. And you could just see Casey Weldon. He just feels it. The ball's coming out of his hand. He's not hesitating. He's going with his reads, and he's just delivering it. Actually looks like the Florida State offense from past years now, throwing the ball downfield instead of a short little stuff.
Seems like 11 in sync. You're right. Still looking. He's going to take it all the way to the corner, get what he can, and he's out of bounds at the 11. Cunningham was the closest man to it. Stopping the clock with 8:07 until halftime. 7-3 ball game. Auburn leading by 4. Florida State threatening.
Even though Casey Weldon made this look like a pass, this was run all the way. Look at the receivers. You can't catch the ball if you don't look back. There's Dawsey downfield throwing some block. Dawsey will hit you all night. A very aggressive player. It's a play in the playbook that they have for Casey Weldon.
And a flag goes down. Now, did he get back, or is that offside against Florida State?
It looked like Horn got back, but then Rocker moved to me on the other side.
That's what Florida State is pointing, that it's going to be against Auburn. And that's the case.
Horn jumps, Rocker sees it out of the side of his eye, and he moves also. That guy, he's going to grab anybody he can right now. Coach, he's not happy with this. Watch, out of the side, up to the right side of your screen, somebody moves. Now watch Rocker, he's going to move. In the neutral zone.
Penalty has moved it to the 6-yard line. That's now 4 penalties against the Tigers for 42 yards. In the early going, it was Florida State that was playing with the problem, and now it's the Tigers. Second down. They need the 3 for the first. To the 1-foot line. Darrell Crawford is down at the bottom of that stack someplace.
There you look at it as a linebacker. This is the problem. Nice block by Bennett here. Fullback gets his hat on somebody and opens up the whole little isolation play. Florida State's run this. On this play, look at it, just short of the first down. 2 Auburn players are hurt on this play. Dennis Wallace, number 30, is limping off. And there you see Dennis. And there's another player, Auburn player, down on the field. Did you call that one yet, Ron? Have we got an idea on that one?
Haven't gotten his number because the trainers were out so quickly.
Yes. Yeah, Daryl Crawford is, I think, who it is.
And you know, just a moment ago, Kerrigan Cunningham came limping off the field after he had been in pursuit of Weldon and had chased him out. It looked as though his leg was hurt. So on 2 plays, or within 3 plays, Auburn with some bruises on 3 defensive starters.
Nice job by Edgar Bennett right there. I mean, when you stop Florida State, you have to stop their isolation, their sprint draw type play. And Bennett, I mean, this guy, check what he's doing. He's the 2nd leading receiver on the team as a fullback. He blocks for those isolation plays, and he's averaging 6.3 yards a carry. I mean, that's good production out of your fullback.
So let's go to Tim Brando and get another update on college football today. Timmy.
This is an interesting game, fellas, largely because Mike Archer, if he's going to go 7-4, has to figure he needs this game in order to hang on to his job. The game being played at Tiger Stadium, it is 10-10. Harvey Williams coming back from really a disappointing start to the season with a 60-yard run. Al Baker, who seemingly has been at Kentucky for 10 years, he has a 30-yard touchdown run for the Wildcats. The score is now 10-10 with just 11 seconds left in the half, the game being played in Bayou Country. Let's get back out to Jordan-Hare Stadium now.
Thanks, Timmy. You talk about Mike Archer. Conversely, Bill Curry, I heard, made a statement about 3 weeks ago that he said he is more impatient than his alumni. He wants to win now. Let's go down to Kevin Kiley on the sideline.
All right, thank you, Ron. It was Darrell Crawford, number 56, a linebacker, took a blow to the head or the neck. He was a little groggy. I spoke to an official who was right on the scene, said he seems to be fine. He's coming around. Back up to you.
Crawford, who had an interception back early on in the first quarter, receiving quite an ovation as the fans excited that he is okay enough to come out under his own power. Our situation, should you have just joined us, clock is just back whistled in. Auburn 7-3, and the Seminoles with a 1st and goal a half yard away. Lee, touchdown Florida State. Bennett, I beg your pardon, 22 rather than 42, and Bennett puts the Seminoles on top. Edgar Bennett, his 5th touchdown of the season, his 2nd rushing. He has 3 receiving passes. Richie Andrews knocks the extra point home, and the Florida State Seminoles on top by 3.
Well, Bennett gets the touchdown, but credit to the offensive line. Look at him get down. Get down where the worms go and just keep the feet moving. If you can keep those feet moving through into the end zone, what you got to do as an offensive lineman is score yourself. Put your own stomach in the end zone, and you can get a touchdown.
Buying a new car is a big step. With many car makers, the minute you drive it out the door, you may feel like you're on your own. But at Oldsmobile, you're covered by the Oldsmobile Edge, the most comprehensive owner satisfaction program in the industry. It's standard on every new Oldsmobile. We're with you every step of the way.
It's a new generation of all.
So much to do and so little time. When it's time to finance or lease your new GM vehicle, let GMAC do it right in the dealership. GMAC. Nobody wants to put you and GM quality on the road faster. So you'll have time for more important things.
A Ranger never takes the easy way out.
Yo,
That's why getting into the ranges is tough and the training is tough. So it makes me feel like I'm part of something really special. And I'm not the only one.
Edgar Bennett gets his 5th touchdown of the year, and it is 10-7 Florida State with just over 7 minutes left to play until halftime. Richie Andrews prepares to kick it off. Number 20, Herbert Casey, sophomore from Foley, Alabama. He's the deep man for the Auburn Tigers. And right now, the momentum has shifted from what was a very strong momentum from Auburn early in the ball game over to the visitors from Tallahassee. Casey from the 12. Got a big opening. And the kicker, Andrews, submarined and knocked him down shy of the 50.
The kick was very high and short, and usually you don't get a great return on this. Look, he's going to catch this ball, what, about a 13-yard line and real high. But look at that one. I could run through that one right there. And he kind of rushes it. He was a little patient right here. It looked like he almost gets too close to the block. He had an opportunity for another 8-10 yards.
40 yards officially on the return, and Auburn comes right back with great field position. Joseph straight ahead, and he takes some people with him as he goes inside the 45 to the 42. James, a senior out of Phoenix City, not too far from here, 6'2", 225 pounds.
If you just look right there at the Miami University game plan that they used against Florida State for all those yards. Split them wide, run to the weak side of the formation, right at Kirk Brothers, and run hard. And just get that guard on him and just hit the hole full speed. Look at that, 5 yards.
97 and 9 total yards this quarter. This time only about a yard in the play, and let's go back to Tim Brando.
Arizona and USC. USC punter Ron Dale back punting from his own end zone. Watch Darrell Lewis. He will take off and go 43 yards, finds a seam down the sideline. That would set up a Reggie McGill touchdown run, and Darrell Lewis has just picked off Todd Marinovich, so Arizona driving again, down by only 3. Let's get back to Ron and Governor.
10-7, Florida State leads. Just over 6 to play till halftime as Danley is coming to the ball game, gets the call, and he's going to be stopped short of the first down at the 40. As Corian Freeman made the tackle. And instantly, the special teams come on, and I don't mean the field goal unit because they're far out of range, and Richie Nell will have to punt it away. Very high kick. Buckley running toward it and makes the catch at the 21-yard line. Well, the student athlete of the game is brought to you by the U.S. Army. Learn how to get an edge on life. Be all you can be. Tonight's recipient is Florida State defensive back Keith Jones. Keith is a finance major with a 3.57 grade point average. Keith Jones, our student athlete of the game, and congratulations to him.
Well, Auburn's offensive wheels have just fallen off in this Florida State defense. You see number 45, Kirk Brothers, on the right side of the screen right there. And Stan White is only 4 for 8 for 1 interception for 18 yards passing with 5 minutes left to go in the half. That is not the idea for a good game.
Weldon has come in. He's 4 of 7, 62 yards. They give it to Bennett straight ahead. Darrell Crawford, who was injured a moment ago, back in the ball game, and he's there defensively for the Auburn Tigers. Now let's talk about what Auburn has to do here, because I mentioned the fact that momentum seems to have shifted toward Florida State at this juncture.
Well, defensively, they have to find a way to corral Welburn now. He's given them a different look that they weren't ready for. Pat Dye has to get his guys tackling. They have to not let this guy get out of the pocket, because you can see what he's done. A couple big plays by getting out of the pocket and making something big downfield happen.
Backfield, good for the first down and about
turned out so many All-Americans right here at Auburn University. He's calling the shots. He has all the stats, all the tendencies, and he's trying to play with Bobby Bowden right now. What is he going to do? And it's hard to stay up with Bobby. I mean, he may call anything.
Total offense. His defensive team is fifth nationally, number 1 in the Southeastern Conference, and against the rush, they are number 2 in the conference, allowing just under 100 yards a game. Weldon. It's Bennett, and he will weave his way to around the 42 before Eric Ramsey puts a stopper on him.
Casey Weldon is going to look for Lawrence Dawsey downfield on a little curl route. There he is. He's not open. But watch what he does after this. Oh, decleats one guy, and then he's not done yet. He goes for another guy, running out a little farther. Yep, he gets another one. That's how you can be an All-American by doing that kind of stuff. Playing after somebody else gets the ball. That was impressive.
Third catch for Bennett tonight for 25 yards. To the right side, cuts nicely off the block of Roberts, but he's going to be short of the first down by a couple as Ramsey finished him off. With a nice job by Roberts, the tight end, blocking downfield.
Ron, I mean, they've been keeping him off balance. I mean, this is a really, really nice offense they're rushing right now. And he's been keeping off balance. I mean, we've talked to the coaches. They expected this Florida State team to throw. Look at this. First down, 10 rushes, 4 passes. That's because they've been successful with it. I mean, they've been running the ball and having success. They're going to stick to it.
Crowd will let you know. Third down, less than 2. Tell by the silence of the Auburn backers right there in front of the student section. He got it, plus about a half yard. David Rockert and Darrell Crawford combining to the stop. And let's see from the spot. Yep, that's going to be enough for the Seminole first down.
One thing Brad Scott talked to us, the offensive line coach and offensive coordinator for Florida State, is that they were going to try to cut down the number of running plays they use. Use the ones that they were successful with and they could practice and coach. And they're just running their basic stuff right now.
And that man in your picture there told us on Thursday, he said, heck, if I had my way, I'd put in 5 new plays a week.
Well, somebody's got to hold on to him a little bit. He could remember him. I don't know about everybody else.
Weldon, sensing the pressure, takes it forward for 2, now 3. James Willis took his feet out from under him.
You know, it's always nice. You come in as a backup quarterback, and if you don't make a couple of big mistakes early, you feel so confident. I mean, you got a lot of guys rooting for you. You're doing well. You say, oh, I'm out here. I get to play. It's so much fun. And he had some success early now, and he's going to be a farce the rest of this game. Right then, a little play-action pass. Had an opportunity to throw it. Nobody open. He gets up and gets a little something positive out of play where he either just thrown it away or maybe try to force it in.
Auburn with a player shaken up down on the field. So with 2 minutes and 14 seconds until halftime, we'll take a break. Be right back.
日本車を買うならご存知のように性能に関してはほとんど問題がありませんがしかし私どもプロフェッショナルオートモーティブセンターでは ASE 承認の技術者が万が一の大きな事故からもあなたの日本車を守りますなぜならプロフェッショナルオートモーティブセンターではあなたの車がわかる言葉で話しますそうです PAC は原発生の日本車専用の修理工場です
Oldsmobile, I'm back. I'm in awe of the new Oldsmobile. The 1991 Olds Cutlass Supreme is impressive. I know the facts, and I've been attracted to foreign cars in the past. But then I drove the 91 Cutlass Supreme for my new South Olds dealer. Let me tell you, I'll never look beyond the shores of Oldsmobile for quality again. Oldsmobile, I'm back.
Mike Singletary hits hard, but not like the hard-hitting football news on ESPN's Emmy Award-winning NFL Game Day. The team of Berman, Axtell, Jackson, Edelstein, and Deichmann hit the air each Sunday. Jerry Rice can cover the field, but not like the football coverage on ESPN's hour-long NFL Game Day. We'll take you all around the NFL and inside the numbers. NFL Game Day, Sundays at noon Eastern, only on ESPN.
James Willis is a freshman from Huntsville, Alabama. He was the gentleman who was shaken up. They were going underneath his shoulder pad on the right shoulder as if he had gotten a stinger.
Infamous stinger, right? That's the one no one has to explain what that feels like.
Anthony Judge comes into the lineup, so it'll be Judge and Crawford, the two middle backers for the Auburn Tigers. Situation, clock is running. 2 minutes left until halftime. Auburn trailing Florida State by 3. Robin sets middle screen. Amp Lee needs one block. And he's off to the races. He's going to score. His 6th touchdown of the year, his first passing. The rest have come on the ground. What a nice job by Casey Weldon of waiting until the last possible moment to get that one off.
Really nice job of faking the ball to Amp Lee and a lot of nice patience to wait for him to get open. You're exactly right. Nobody gave away the screen too early, and that's the key to running a good screen. This is a staple of their offense. They either hand the ball to the tailback, they fake the ball to the tailback and throw downfield, and now the other thing they do off of it from the other side of the field is they fake to the look downfield now, take your time, and then float it in there for the screen pass. Oh man, that's so nice. Got two big guys out in front of you running, you just use your blockers and run. And Amp showed me something there. I mean, they said he wasn't a sprinter, but he just ran away from some people there.
I don't know if it's the way Florida State sets it up or if it is Amp Lee, but watch, you saw him catch the ball on the run. So many backs catch it dead still and then have to start.
Perfect job of running the screen. If you catch it stopped, you have to regain momentum. Fire downfield. These guys work. Screen block. That's all you do. Stay in front of somebody. Then the runner can cut off of you. And Ron, I mean, you're exactly right in what you say, and that's a perfect coaching point. So many screens, a guy catches, he's just standing there, and everybody else is moving. And it's, you know, it's hard to start up. He was really under control, hit a little bit, and then got out in the play.
78 yards, 7 plays, and that pass play, 48 yards. 3 minutes, 46 seconds. That's the length of time that it took. Now we have 1:40 left until halftime, and Auburn with a lot of time to work with, particularly with the passing offense that they have employed in throwing 38 passes a ball game.
Well, we're going to see another barn burner like last time we were here when Stan White just goes to the no huddle and takes over, maybe.
Herbert Casey. This time there is no avenue as he will not make the 20-yard line. Don't forget, coming up at halftime, Tim Brando and Lee Corso will bring you up to date on this Saturday that has been another one of upsets. Highlights of that Miami-Notre Dame game and a live interview with Jim Wacker of the TCU Horned Frogs. Unbelievable is what Jim says. And also an update on the World Series. Can Cincinnati wrap it up in 4 straight? Who would have thought that?
Well, not
Who would
the
have
people
thought
in Oakland. I know. I'll tell you, not many people thought this would happen tonight. Florida State getting off like this in the first half.
You could see the pulling guard, but a nice job to the outside by McIntosh as King was in front of the play. But Joseph was knocked down quickly. And now the no-huddle offense, Gary, just what you suggested.
Well, he's good at it. He has a lot of great field presence, but they have to be more consistent with this team. And a little timeout by Florida State. Good call.
Florida State did not want to get caught up in the rush.
Okay, Harry, grab the bud, and I think we're out of here.
Right.
I want to drink your bud.
Hi, I'm Harry.
So am I.
Well, there you are.
You You are not going to believe this.
This Halloween, replenish your Bud supply. Pick up Budweiser, Bud Light, and Bud Dry.
What's your Bud type?
Dick, it's Charlie. We're in. That is, if Roman likes our work. He wants to see us at 6. Give me a call. Me again. We've really got to be together on this thing. Call me. I'm having an anxiety attack. Please call. Come on, Dick, buddy, pal, Dick.
Answering machines have always done a great job of taking messages. Unfortunately, we've yet to find one capable of answering them. Panasonic cellular phones, because sometimes the best answering machine is a person.
Dick, you're a real...
If you want to see the movie Look Who's Talking, you can see it on both Showtime and HBO. But if you want to see Dead Poets Society, only Showtime has it. HBO doesn't. Showtime also has Lockup, Sex, Lies, and Videotape. HBO doesn't. And only Showtime has Psycho 4: The Beginning, an original Showtime movie. Showtime exclusives. Here you see them, there you don't.
So the Auburn Tigers tallied first in this ball game, but since then, Florida State 17 unanswered. I think Auburn needs something to take into the locker room with them here.
Well, this Auburn team has been inconsistent this year. They did not play a great half against Tennessee, a game they tied. And then against Louisiana Tech, they came back and had a chance to lose that game, but pulled it out. And tonight, they started out a little inconsistently. So let's see if Stan White can rescue them with the 2-minute offense that he did so well against Tennessee.
Down +5.
Well, now they're in their comfort zone now. They have in a position where they can throw the ball. They're not backed up, so let's see how they go with it now. Stan's in charge.
10 carries for 43 yards for James Joseph. That's going to be a procedure call as the movement came just prior to the snap at Shane Wasden. He doesn't have to be told by the coaching staff. He is plenty disgusted with himself. You can believe that.
Well, coaches always say there's no excuse for a wide receiver to be offsides because he can't hear the snap count anyway. He just has to look in and watch the ball. Shane's looking in there. He's got his eyes on the ball, but oh, man. Nice little move, but a couple counts early.
Trying to get that quick jump on Buckley.
That guy's got the tie undone. He's going to have to give one of those halftime talks again this week and get him fired up for this second half.
Auburn, 3 minutes, 39 seconds, ball controlled this quarter, which is not much. Joseph on the draw play. Some of the crowd not totally understanding of that call. Carruthers is there along with McIntosh to make the play defensively, and now Auburn, after the running play, goes with no huddle again.
Florida State playing very deep. Let's be careful, Stan. You don't need a turnover now.
Over the middle is Joseph. That's Carruthers, who was riding him down, and he'll be short of the first down. Also, Marvin Jones helped out on the stop. No first down, so the clock continues to move.
Whoa, it's 4th down.
4th down, just over a yard to go.
I don't know why they want to call timeout and punt. There you go. Pat doesn't want to call timeout either. If we could get a... Some of the times what's happened in that situation, Ron, is one of the wide receivers called timeout. It's not even the quarterback. Everybody thinks there's an expert out there, and now they're going to be forced to punt the ball. That's a very disturbing situation. You know, your quarterback's looking at the coach is giving you some kind of hieroglyphic signals of what to do, and you have no idea what he means out there when you're standing out there. And all of a sudden, now they got to call timeout and punt the ball. Obviously, that's not what the coach wanted.
Florida State, though, is going to leave the defensive unit on the field rather than special teams. They're going to let them punt it away. They don't want to take a chance on a fake.
Well, with a 10-point lead, I don't blame him. I know Pat Dye feels good about that. I would like to see him come with a block here.
Richie Nell with the punt, and this one is going to be like your best 9-iron. Will it stop in time? Inside the 5, and Baxter will down inside the 1-yard line.
Unfortunately, they're not going to get a chance to use the field position.
So Tim Brando will be coming up at a halftime to bring us up to date on what has happened in college football today. But right now, let's take a break. Florida State leads by 10.
This is how the roomy new Cutlass Supreme SL looks after traveling 300 highway miles on just 10 gallons of gas. And this is how Honda Accord looks after the same challenge. Well, if it hadn't run out of gas 20 miles back, you'd see that it's smaller and it's blue. And next trip, Dad, it's yours. Who says you can't get great gas mileage in a roomy, comfortable car? Cutlass Supreme is one car that does it all and does it right.
This is the new generation of old.
ESPN's coverage of college football continues. Now with all the scores and highlights, Tim Brando and Lee Corso.
Oh, you could call it Elimination Saturday. Welcome to the USF&G Halftime Report. I am Tim Brando. We'll hear from the coach in a few moments, and we'll also hear from Jim Wacker, the head football coach of TCU. Elimination Saturday because 4 top teams that traditionally are in the race for the national championship were meeting in 2 big games today. One team had to be eliminated in the Miami-Notre Dame game. Let's show you what happened there. In the 4th quarter, a play installed this morning by Lou Holtz. He had recognized, along with his defensive staff and offensive staff, that Miami would blitz a lot. Look at that block by Tony Brooks at the 8-yard line. And it's a touchdown to Rodney Culver. After the blitzing linebackers came through, that was the game that iced it away. 29-20. Notre Dame gets the victory. Now the upsets on this elimination Saturday. Tennessee, a team that was certainly in the championship hunt, loses to Alabama 9-6. Doyle with a now 5th on the SEC all-time scoring list. He gets the victory on ESPN earlier today. Iowa and Michigan, 24-23, also on ESPN today. Down to the wire. John Vaughn held to just 86 yards. Michigan's first consecutive loss situation at home since 1967. Georgia Tech and North Carolina. Can you believe this? The Tar Heels tie Georgia Tech. But remember this, the Ramblin' Wreck had not beaten North Carolina since 1945 in Chapel Hill. Iowa State and Oklahoma, 33-31. The Cyclones win. Chris Peterson gets in. Oklahoma fans may think he didn't, but again, no appreciable way of finding out. The game was not televised, no closer angle of it. They'd get the victory by 2. Minnesota and Indiana, how about this? John Gutekunst is sitting 3-0 and has a shot at a Rose Bowl, and his job was supposed to be on the line at the beginning of the year. They beat Bill Mallory's Hoosiers, who were fresh off a tie against Ohio State last week. World Series update on the way. As we mentioned, Jim Wacker will be heard from, the fine coach of the Horned Frogs of TCU. We'll talk about the muddled situation in the Southwest Conference. As we take you to break, Joe Krivak's club edges Duke today. Here are some other scores on an autumn college football Saturday.
Jerry comes in every Saturday. Last week he wants copper pipe and solder. Now I know Jerry, so I say don't forget to shine the joints before you flux. And he says flux, so I told him to call me if he hit a snag. I think he called 11 times.
Good service is why people choose a place like Evers Hardware Store, and why places like Evers Hardware choose USF&G Insurance and their independent agents.
USF&G is standing behind me.
Along the edge of San Francisco Bay, just off the Embarcadero, you'll discover the Fog City Diner. Elegant as a formal dining car, yet friendly as a Main Street cafe, where people reserve weeks in advance to taste the red curry mussel stew or the grilled chicken with roasted peppers. So leave your troubles behind, but bring your Visa card, because at Fog City, they take things easy, but they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
My son Jeff, one busy guy, but he will drop everything for Campbell's Chunky Soup. With delicious chunks of vegetables and meat, Chunky's quick to satisfy, so Jeff can pick up right where he left off.
Campbell's Chunky Soup, the satisfying stop that keeps you going.
Because there are races that last 24 hours,
Because there are rallies that last 4 days. There are high-performance tires, called Michelin's.
The USF&G Insurance Halftime Report is brought to you by USF&G Insurance. Protecting your business, home, auto, and life. USF&G, standing behind the USA.
Welcome back to our Evelyn Woods scoreboard, and we're going to run through baseball very quickly for you. Oakland 1-0 in the second. The interesting story here, Eric Davis left the game with a rib injury while trying to make a catch. Willie McGee hit the line drive. By the way, McGee has already saved the day in right field. Jose Canseco has been benched by Tony La Russa. Billy Hatcher left the game. He was hit by a pitch on the hand by Dave Stewart. Rijo and Stewart still out there. Now, Wake Forest and Virginia, 49-14. The Wahoos get the win. Sean Moore, 258 yards on the day in the air. Oklahoma State, Nebraska, Huskers roll 31-3 after leading by only 7 at the half. Michigan State and Illinois, the Flying Illini rolling. By the way, their basketball program, no major sanctions, not the death penalty. More on that coming up on SportsCenter later tonight. Houston and SMU, 44-17. Klingler's number is unbelievable, 48 of 76, 461 yards, 5 touchdowns. Washington and Stanford, Cardinal blown out. 52-16 in the game. Brunel, a big day. Greg Lewis, 108 yards on the ground. USC and Arizona, that game now in the fourth quarter. Wildcats by 421-17. Colorado, that roller coaster ride now beginning to even out a bit for them as they blow out the Jayhawks. 41-10, Bieniemy breaking records for the Buffaloes. Florida and Akron now. To Florida's credit, they will put Miami back on the schedule. Spurrier wants to, but this was like Montana State last year. It was very ugly. Now, Arkansas State and Mississippi, 42-13. The Rebels get the victory. 495 yards, total yards on the ground for that ball club today. Billy Brewer's club just keeps on keeping on. Jim Wacker is on the way next from his living room outside Fort Worth. Stay with us.
I'm not demanding. I just have an expectation of excellence. I want the best, quality and commitment. And for my car, I want Super Lube and Pennzoil. In 10 minutes, I get an oil and a filter change, chassis lube, and 10-point maintenance check. No surprises, just quick, easy car care at a fair price. I'm not hard to please. Just give me your best shot and show me you care.
All set, Coach.
Super Lube gets the job done.
You get world-class protection with Super Lube and quality Pennzoil.
Tired of waiting in long checkout lines when you have just a few items and you're in a rush? Come to Swanee Swifty instead. It's fast, easy, and there's one just around the corner. Plus, you'll find practically everything under the sun. Stop at and gas up or pick up groceries or a snack to go. The Swanee Swifty store. They're on your way, so you can be on your way. Stop by today and save.
At your Swanee Swifty store.
Young minds need the proper positive influence, a steady hand to mold them to a responsible, active member of society. The 10 institutions of the Southeastern Conference are dedicated to providing the needed guidance and direction. Today's youth are tomorrow's leaders, so the final product is one that must endure a lifetime. The Southeastern Conference, the standard for excellence.
The value of teamwork, of depending on some other people to do their share of the work, and you can't win without those 11 guys doing everything they're supposed to do. Also, I think the feeling of when you do lose, that life isn't over, that the sun will come up tomorrow, and you get a bad review, you go on.
College football prepares you for the game of life.
team that has traditionally given Auburn fits. They last lost at home to Jordan-Hare with Florida State. It could be happening again. Tim Brando back in our college football studios. Texas beating up on Arkansas today, 49-17. Most points against Arkansas since 1916. That's for Texas. The records keep falling for Arkansas's defense. Now, Texas A&M and Baylor. This is a 20-20 tie. Certainly helps muddy the situation in the Southwest Conference. We'll get into that a bit later. Texas Tech and Rice. Fred Goldsmith, what a tremendous job he has done. Balance of power really shifting to the have-nots in the Southwest Conference, 42-21. Look at the standings in this league. Houston is 5-0, but remember, they're ineligible. They can't go to the bowl game. TCU sits in the catbird seat. They've got Texas coming up November the 17th. Baylor and Texas A&M, you can't say that they're out of it, but they're certainly in a little bit of trouble. And last week, you may recall, I made the statement here that it would be difficult for the Cotton Bowl to have a TCU, certainly a team that does not have a great deal of marquee value, only draws about 30,000 folks for most of their games. And the Cotton Bowl, quite frankly, has lost some credibility in past years because teams that have lost in the SEC, finished second or third in past years, have been the opponents for the Southwest Conference champion. Well, obviously, Jim Wacker was a little bit upset at that statement. I certainly understood why. And first of all, Coach, I'd like to have your response to the statements by me and others in the media that have been critical of the Cotton Bowl situation.
Tim, first, I think, obviously when you were a young boy, you had to root for Goliath and against David. There's no other way to look at it. Hey, it's good sometimes when the schools with, not the large student base or the large alumni population or the big stadium or the big budgets and so on, when they go out in the field and they compete and they play and they win. And when that happens, and when a team like a TCU or a Rice can come up and knock off the big dogs and go to something like the Cotton Bowl and win the Southwest Conference, that's great for college football. And I promise you, that'll be the best story in 1990, if that can happen, and that's what we're hoping.
All right, now you lost Tony Darther, and that was difficult for you. You didn't play much of last year. And really, Leon Clay has stepped up his play, it seems, with the loss of Darther this year. He's really become a fine quarterback for you.
No, Leon's done a great job for us. Of course, Curtis Motkins, a young sophomore running back, came in, and he's also done really well. And is one of the leaders in the conference in rushing each game. But Leon Clay, fifth in the nation right now in total offense. He is doing a great job running the ball as well as throwing the ball, and he has been a big difference maker. Only a sophomore. That's the best news, Tim.
I know you've got some difficult games on the road. You have to play Houston on the road. You have to play Texas A&M on the road. But you get Texas at home on November the 17th. I want to jumpstart you a little bit and talk about them today because they really rolled over Arkansas, had not had a tremendous day. The freshmen, the highly heralded freshmen. Tell me about the Longhorns and how impressive they are for David McWilliams.
Well, I'm really happy for David McWilliams, first of all. Boy, it's fun to see him finally, getting it all together there for the Horns. They were really impressive. I got to watch that game as well, and they really rolled today. But by the same token, hey, there are a number of teams playing well in the Southwest Conference right now. Of course, Houston's playing very well, and the Horned Frogs are playing pretty good. What about those Baylor Bears going out there and tying the Aggies in College Station? So it is muddled right now. It's one of those things that anything can happen. The only game I'm worried about right now, Tim, is those Baylor Bears. That comes up first this coming Saturday.
I got you, and their defense is tough. Jim, thank you so much for taking time out to join us.
Hey, thank you, Tim. Enjoyed it.
We love to have point counterpoint from time to time, and who better than Jim Wacker, right? I want to talk with Lee Corso now. Lee, you certainly can understand the position that Wacker took after I made this statement last week, which I believe was a true statement.
Well, it's sure, because I was always behind Ohio State and Michigan. When Indiana in '79 won, looked like we were going to Rose Bowl. Everybody was... But you know what happened? We didn't go. We went to the Holiday Bowl and beat BYU, the 9th-ranked team, in the Holiday Bowl. So I'm all for Wacker. I hope he goes somewhere and beats somebody good.
All right, stay with us. We've got a lot more scores on the way as the USF&G halftime report continues. At the half, Florida State has the lead at Auburn.
Only Sears Brand Central has all the name brand electronics you want, like this LXI 2-Lux camcorder. Includes light attachment and telephoto lens. Only $799.95 at Sears Brand Central nationwide.
When the party of the first part achieves control of 51...
Nation caused productivity to rise an estimated 50.
The manufacturing division is currently operating at full...
Successful reallocation of resources has had a decided...
Occasionally, mergers produce results that individuals would find impossible to produce on their own. State-of-the-art software and service worthy of it.
You can spot someone who saved money with a second-rate antifreeze a mile away. Not all antifreeze is the same. Nothing beats Presto. And that's something you might appreciate down the road.
The towers of the Westcott Administration Building, symbols of the spirit of Florida State University. A spirit of exploration, of discovery, of innovation, of distinction, of achievement. The spirit behind the spear. Educational excellence at Florida State University.